All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my custom D&D campaigns set in my really screwed up custom campaign setting, and the people below me are regretting the choices they made that got them into this situation. So, first things first, Seal the Cyber, thanks for the subscription. Always love to see Prime subscriptions coming in. For anyone that's new, because I have a few more viewers than I'm used to seeing here. Channel points work a little bit differently on my streams than a lot of other ones. If you look at the channel point redemptions, you can see things like reroll token or give inspiration or potion of greater healing, things like that. You can actually interact with the game, giving players potions and reroll tokens and the things like that. There's also other stuff like you can create NPCs that'll show up in the game, or suggest boss encounters that they might eventually deal with. Those are things that generally won't happen the day you redeem them, but I get in contact with you generally through a message on Twitter, and we talk and we come up with something, and then eventually shows up. So I like to have the audience be a part of these games.
No, you can't summon Vecna.
Yeah, we we don't like her. Anyway,
Him.
yeah. So I hope people are excited. We're we're coming to the end of some pretty grueling stuff for the players thus far. I'll have a little bit of a recap when we start going officially. One quick announcement. Buddy of mine named Don Diego. He goes by Classy Don Diego on Twitter. He has a podcast called My RPG Podcast. And I was a guest on it this past week, I think. Last week, I think, is when it went up. But I got to talk about something that's very important to me, the depiction of like mental illnesses and how they show up in tabletop RPGs and other things like that. So if you want to check that out, I know he has a pinned tweet. If I was a really, smart promoter person, or maybe someone that actually has a degree in marketing management, I know, crazy, I would actually have like a link for you guys. Here we go, Classy Don. I'm gonna see if I get. There we go. I'll have a link. There we go. This is you can find it on. This is the Apple Podcast thing, but you can find it on. I listened to his podcast on Podbean, but that specifically is the podcast. It's really good. It's about an hour, but we talk about a lot of stuff. There's a little bit of content warning that we put in there because I talk about some of the stuff that have caused my mental illnesses and things, but check it out. Otherwise, I think that is all the announcements that I can think of. So, you guys want to return to the Legend of the Three Kingdoms? The party has returned to Ilmorn in an attempt to wrest the mayor of the town from power and hopefully reduce some of the suffering that has been happening in Crucia Titalia, since that suffering empowers the Dark Lord. After rescuing someone they were not told who they were, they eventually found Liliane's father. One of the party members mysteriously vanished while dealing with a winged humanoid figure, and they all met back with their resistance force, where a new person showed up. Relwyn, a strange cleric to the Dark Lady. Regrouping and deciding upon a battle plan, they decided to storm the mansion of the mayor, where they were met with a strange demonic creature, a cloaker, and the major domo of the mayor's household staff. The mayor and the major domo retreated into the manor itself when they saw that the battle outside was going poorly. And that is where we meet and return to our players. So, you guys have all just finished dealing with the large monstrosity that was attacking you, and the cloaker itself has run off, seeing as this prey didn't seem as useful as it looked. And also, the three its are still here. However, the magic exploding runes that had been carved into their flesh had been deactivated through some quick use of the anti-magic shells, or anti-magic bullets that Argenta inherited from the commander. So, what would you guys all like to do? You saw the major domo and the mayor run back into his manor house itself.
Just gonna take a second here and catch my breath. Why not? Yeah, I'm gonna cast Cure Wound. Sorry. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself at 3rd level.
Okay. So you guys watch as Vivala starts humming a little tune. You watch as the energy kind of flows. You see a few of her wounds start to close. What would the rest of you like to do? You still have the... Go ahead. I think all of you are pretty rough right now. Does anyone specifically need significant amounts of healing?
I would say right now I'm at about 2/3.
I'm good.
I just put it in chat, but I just want to remind that the last thing that Relwyn had done was do a mass cure wounds to everyone, and then they got 23 hit points back. And I just want to make, I didn't know if that was accounted for when we left. So who is still needing? Because I was going over that.
Sounds like between everyone else, it sounds like everyone's in a pretty decent place.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sure. Okay.
How about you? How are you doing, Rowan?
I healed back up to full because worst thing I did was climb over a security fence.
Oh yeah, that way.
Relwyn was outside watching the battle.
Yeah.
This is some of it.
Alright, I forgot about that. Alright, I will do my way and I will get and I forget a pool that I get to find out however I want.
Yeah, you can use one
Yeah.
hit point. I believe the only time you have to use specific amounts is if you're curing poison or something.
Poison
Alright.
disease.
That's 5 hit points a shot.
Alright, so I will give Valor and then I will use the 7 of me.
Okay. So you watch as Liliane comes over, and you watch as her hand glows this kind of deep indigo blue, and she touches your shoulder, Vala, and you watch as more of your wounds start to kind of close. And then she does the same thing as she touches her chest, and you can see some of the cuts and scrapes start to close themselves.
I'll thank you. Our 3 friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of start walking over to one of them, the nearest one.
Mm-hmm.
What are they? Are they still just kind of standing there, or?
They're on the ground right now after being shot by the anti-magic bullets and the kind of magical explosion that happened. They're on the ground. They're bleeding. But just like the first one of these its that you've found, their tongues have been removed, and they don't seem to be communicative as far as you can tell. Like they're conscious, but any attempts to communicate with them just get kind of responded with like confused stares, and every so often they'll make kind of moaning sounds, but without a tongue, it's remarkably difficult to communicate verbally.
I'll just look at it and go, "Bring me the mayor's head."
And they just go,
It was worth a shot. Seemed to work last time.
Does anyone have like another use anything you on them?
From,
Are we pretty much used up?
well, from what you guys have already seen, again, they technically don't have hit points or anything. They are effectively conscious objects. So you could heal them as much as you want.
But
Most healing spells require a creature for the to target, so attempting to target them with a healing spell won't work. This spell simply will not activate until you return their token is what has been referred to. They are conscious objects.
I'll kind of just look at Liliane and say, I'm not exactly tapped out, but and I'll kind of like gesture toward the manor and say, we still have a manor to burn.
yeah,
So
do we want to take them with us, or do we want to let them stay?
I think we should probably leave them here for now. Unless you think if we can. And the only value they would have bringing them with us is if we can find their tokens and give them to them. And that would restore them
Yeah,
somewhat to
that
their
may be
former self.
helpful.
I don't think
But-
bringing them with us will help.
Yeah, last time we did that, it also pissed off the Dark Lord and made him come and kill one of us. So
Well, yeah,
Let's
that
hold off on that for right now.
Every time you guys say something like that, Rowan just looks down and just like,
Just casually talking about the ruler and near godlike deity here. It's like, yeah, we pissed him off. Who cares?
Rowan has had about 4 existential crises in a row with the shit that's been dropped on him.
I'll just kind of go over to him and pull a flask out,
Is,
take a swig, get
is
it over.
that,
Because of Rowan's character, he actually will.
is that wall of
I
force
mean-
still up?
Thank you.
The wall of force followed or fell when the mayor retreated.
All right.
So, as far as you guys can tell, the manor doors are shut, but they seem to be the only thing stopping you from going in the manor.
Well,
Well,
And he seems to be able to employ both undead and fiends. That one thing was actually not an undead. That large
yeah,
creature was
that
actually a
was
fiend.
a demon, yeah.
interesting. Are fiends flammable?
Not generally. If anything, quite the opposite.
Yeah.
God damn it. What about radiant damage?
Well, I mean, I right?
Okay, I'm just filing this away for future
Depending on what
use.
they are, some of them are pretty resistant to her. It's somewhat resistant depending on the variety. Fires, I wouldn't recommend. You probably shrug most of that off. Also, cold and acid sometimes.
I mean, Vala will just look on the ground for a rock.
All else fails.
If all else fails,
So as you guys look out, where
Unless that's a magic rock, that's probably not going to do much either.
as you guys look out onto the kind of crowd that you had formed before, it has changed from kind of
Yeah, what?
a crowd to just a mob. The guards that had been using large pikes and spears to keep them at bay, you no longer see any of those guards. You do see large piles of red material where they used to be and in various places around. But the mob itself does not seem to be completely coherent at this particular point, and they're starting to kind of infight amongst each other, but they haven't seemed to really notice any of you or what happened in the manor as of yet.
So it's more of a row as opposed to like an influence of.
Make me an insight to check.
Okay. 27 total.
This is not a pattern you would expect from, especially from the people that you spoke to when you were in the crowd. And even when you were in the crowd, you noticed before kind of coming up to get with your allies, you noticed like you were getting angrier than you think you should about things that didn't matter.
Oh, I was feeling that because I was in the crowd.
Yeah, for the brief amount of time that you were in it, and now that you're thinking about it, you were feeling a little bit more angry, but it was easy to kind of play that off as, okay, I'm just getting ready for a fight. But now looking at it and looking at how people are reacting, this is not a normal reaction. Like they ran out of aggressive targets and now they're starting to infight and not just argue amongst themselves, they're starting to actually strike each other. And it's regressing into just kind of a bloodbath. It hasn't quite gotten to spilling of blood yet, but you can see that's where it's going.
Something's driving these people, and it doesn't seem to be abating.
Then we need to kill the source, and that's the
Yeah.
mayor. Let's go.
Oh, good.
I mean, no, you're right. We should.
Yeah, I mean, I was someone has some other means of
I doubt we.
calming them down, I don't think.
I doubt we do.
I will head up to the manor doors and open them.
Okay. As you push on the manor doors themselves, you feel a slight tingle of magical energy as your hands contact with it, but they open remarkably easily. Like they feel like they barely have any weight at all.
Does this bring back any memories of the last time we walked into one of their houses?
Yeah.
No. In fact, you've been here many times before. And go ahead and roll me a history check.
Delightful. 13.
Okay. That's enough. Yeah. You've just realized you've never actually touched the doors before. Every time you've come here, someone has always opened the doors for you because there was countless servants and other things like that, and you had your own set of servants. So you have no idea if this whatever magic that is pervading this door is new or has always been there.
It occurs to me I do not know the name of the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know that it's been mentioned before. Do I know his name? Or do I only know him as the mayor?
He has told everyone to call him Lord Mayor.
Fair enough. As I open the door, I will just yell out into the room. Lord Mayor, your hospitality as of late is quite disappointing.
As you open the door and you say this, your voice rings. And it answers you. The particular hall that you just opened acoustically is very, very bright and echoey. So as soon as you say that, you could hear it echoing off of the various kind of concavities in the ceiling. Previously when you've been here, there's normally large kind of drapery and the things all around here, which would normally capture this as a sound very well. But as you come in, the drapery is tattered and moth-eaten, as if no one had lived here in centuries. You look around, you can see furniture that was made of like rosewood with gold filigree inlaid into it is sitting in rotted piles. The satin seat cushions are moth-eaten and moldy.
Excellent. So they're
I
probably kind of dry, I'm assuming.
Very
kind of
dry.
expected. I
And they're
expected
already
this
in
to be
piles.
fancier.
So just without even kind of thinking, Val is just gonna create bonfire.
Okay. As you do, the bonfire itself springs to life and kind of lights the room that you're in. Right now, it's relatively dimly lit through just ambient light coming through windows and things. There's something strange that you notice while... what specifically did you target for the bonfire?
The pile of furniture.
Okay. So the furniture itself starts to envelop, but you notice that the curtains hanging near it, the tapestries, and the walls themselves seem completely unaffected by the fire.
Don't you think we're putting the cart before the horse if we burn first, then try to take him out?
There are things you will learn about me. There's never not a good time for fire.
Well, I fully expect this manor to be burned to the ground by the time we're done.
Yeah.
Or die trying.
So at the far end of this entryway, you can see a double staircase that kind of loops up and goes to a balcony at the top. You can see a large set of double doors, which, again, the last time you were here, which is no more than a few weeks ago, were these very large ebonwood doors that had this amazing carved relief picture or carving of the Lord Mayor kind of standing with this very large greatsword next to him, or in his hand. And now one of the doors hanging off its hinge, the other one has been kind of worn down to almost nothingness, where you can't even see the carving. The previous carving had been painted and things like that, so it's very vibrant. This, all the colors have been faded off and the paint is chipped off, and it just looks dilapidated. In the rest of the room, there is, on the first level, there is a door that goes to kind of the servants' quarters and the kitchen and all that stuff. And then on either side of the hall itself, on the left and right sides, there's about 3 doors on each that go to various places. One of them goes to the dining room, others goes to quarters and other things like that.
Okay, I will kind of stop at the base of the stairs and turn to everyone and go, "No, this place is a lot more run down than I would have expected. Something else may be going on here. More of the Dark Lord's trickery."
He run to someplace. He obviously ran. Did he have any type of plan? I mean, my understanding for safety, some type of room to hold up in, or
I suspect he's going to the library, if I remember correctly.
And why would that be?
It's a big open room. I think there is an escape tunnel in there as well.
could he be gone already?
I don't think so. I think he wants to fight us. Me at the very least. We haven't even really touched him. This is more theatrics.
One.
Yes.
His man seemed to be a bit of a handful as well.
Oh, he was. He got a lucky shot. My Vala just kind of like
lucky or
rubs her
skill?
jaw.
Lucky or skill? I have to heal you all the same.
He took down a Tyrannosaurus Rex with one punch. That is luck. Skill my ass.
And I have to heal you all the same.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's almost down.
I swear he used him. So when we're talking right now.
Probably. So we should,
Get moving.
yes. Just everybody keep an eye out.
Hmm.
And I'll start heading up the steps. If there is another unlit pile of furniture,
Mhm.
it will also be lit as I'm walking up the steps.
Just as a point of fact, in case is he actually a person of means, of well off? I was given to believe he lived in luxury while the people lived in squalor.
He did. I don't know what has happened here. That is my point.
I would also like to not have to run out of here running for our lives with the place on fire.
It'll be fine.
You get used to it.
You get used to it. Look, it's part of my brand, okay?
I'm just saying, stick to your brand. Let's just do it after.
More importantly, I don't think we're leaving via the front door, if we can help it. We may have to escape via his escape tunnels. Or go out the back door. I really don't think that angry mob is going to like seeing me go free. The rest of you may be able to sneak out.
Something else is driving them. I think we might have to deal with them.
I really don't think they should deal with me.
No, I mean, if we
Right.
deal with the mayor and his man, maybe that'll go away.
I see what you're saying. I'm saying their hatred of me is not magically driven. It may be based in. It may be based in.
I
It may
heard
be
you. You
based
used to work for him. I understand.
in their perception of reality. The story that, look, I'm really good at what I do, and when my job is to instill fear, I can be really good at that. I'm not proud of the things that I did. I tried to use fear more than pain, for what it's worth. but we should go on. And I will start walking up the steps.
Okay.
I'm assuming the library is through that door.
Through that door specifically, there is a kind of an audience room where there is a very large kind of throne that he likes to greet people at. Even when you would meet with him, the first month or so of you meeting, he would meet you in this room, and you're always significantly below him, so he can look down on you. After you guys had gotten to know, a lot of times your meetings would be over a meal, or you would go to the library, which is off of this audience room to the left.
Okay.
Just because he would have other things that he was doing when he was meeting with you, because he couldn't give you all of his attention. I mean, that's
Well,
just
of course.
wasted
as
attention.
As I approach the doors, I do want to do it carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say, I want to stroll in like I own the place,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm focused on the corner of my eyes for that sucker punching
Of course.
Seneschal.
So, as you go to the double doors, again, one of them is kind of hanging off its hinges. There's a slight gap between them. They're not fully closed. Do you want to try and push the one that's fully up, or do you want to try and move the one that's kind of hanging off?
Eldritch Blast is force damage, correct?
Yes, it is.
So Eldritch Blast, in theory, could be used to knock a door off its hinges.
I would say that's an interesting use of it. Yes.
I would like to attempt that.
Go for it. Make me just make me a singleted attack roll.
Okay. 21.
21. So you sit there and you could concentrate. What are you using as your focus?
My pendant with the quartz.
So you focus on your pendant. You look forward, extend your hand, and this blast of force goes, hits the door that's hanging on its hinges, and you watch it goes, lands partially in this room, kind of impaling the floor, and actually going through the wooden floor a little bit. So now it's kind of just sticking out at an odd angle. You can see into the room itself. You see the throne as it was. You can see the mayor sitting up upon his throne, but this is not the mayor you remember. His body is emaciated and rotten. You can see holes in his cheek. His teeth themselves are yellowed and whittled down. You can see large gaps in between his teeth. His gums have recessed almost completely. His eyes are white, and you can't quite tell what he's staring at first until you look a little bit closer and you see that he's not moving at all. He's not focusing on anything. He's just kind of looking into space up above you, but his entire body is completely still. His hands are on the armrests and are just kind of laying there. His feet are kind of cattywampus, just kind of hanging down, but he has really good posture currently.
I look around the room. Do I see his servant?
Make me a perception check. It is dim light in here, so without dark vision, that'll be made with disadvantage.
And with dark vision?
It's fine.
Okay, 24.
24. Looking around, you don't see anyone in this room. Other than the mayor, there's nothing here. But you do see the kind of soft flicker of lamplight coming from the library. Just kind of coming underneath the door frame.
Relwyn looks to all this, and this is disturbing. Did the mayor look like this? He didn't look like this when
No, he
when
looked,
he was at the doors.
Yeah, he had really nice clothing. He was relatively fair skinned. Like he looked great, and he was screaming at you guys. Hopping up
Yeah.
and down and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we never touched him.
But he correct me if I'm wrong, but it did look like he was starting to
Change.
change.
He
Am
looks.
I remembering that right?
He looked different when you guys saw him. Like something about him didn't look right, but you didn't see any kind of metamorphosis or anything. It just there was something about him that was off. That just didn't seem correct.
Well, I remember you saying. Now I was too far away to see this, but you said he had like black spittle stuff coming out.
Yes,
of his mouth.
he was starting to he was
Great.
spitting this kind of weird. His saliva had turned almost jet black.
Vala will reach her hand out and start making the same motion to create bonfire on the throne, and we'll just soon. And I will start tiptoeing over to the door to the library.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to be very quiet about it, and put my ear to the door to see if I hear anything.
Make me a perception check with a disadvantage.
One of those was really nice. 14.
14. Okay. So listening. At first, you don't really hear anything. And as you're sitting there, you eventually hear, "Well, are you going to come in or not?" And you hear the voice of the Major Didomo.
I'll open the door.
As you open the door, you can see the library itself is lit very well by a bunch of candles everywhere. You've been in here quite a few times. There's a very large chandelier that generally lights the little library. It's not being used right now. These candles are just kind of placed on various bookshelves and the things like that. You just see these and they're not like thin, like they're like big old candles. And they're just everywhere around here, putting off more light than you're used to seeing candles put off. Like the flames themselves seem a little bit too bright. And you can see the library itself, when you walk in, there is a large table that every other time you've been here has had a map on it and then a bunch of other books. You're not 100% certain whether or not the mayor could read or not because you never saw him read anything, but he really liked the map. And the map itself was actually two-sided. There was one side that had Ilmorn, and the other side was Cruz Italia as a whole. And then behind that, you see just rows and rows and rows of book shelves, and then in the back, there's two separate spiral staircases that go up to another kind of balcony worth of bookshelves that go relatively high. However, when you walk in this time, at the opposite end of the table is a very kind of large plush chair. The only thing in here that actually looks of quality, and sitting in it is the Major Domo. The table is one of the legs is cracked and so it's sitting at an odd angle. The books that are on there have kind of rotted away. The pages have frayed and the things like that. The map has wrinkled and torn. The books itself, some of the books are missing. A lot of them, like the leather parts of them, have actually rotted and festered. And he's just kind of sitting there.
So how long has the mayor been dead?
smarter than you look.
Hmm.
Which I must admit is not saying much.
Hmm.
How long do you think the mayor has been dead?
Would Rowan be able to guess?
You're welcome to.
Me?
I guess I should ask you this point. Vala, thus far, has been the only person that has mentioned that they've moved at all. Have you guys been following her?
I was definitely following
Oh,
Paula.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been following her around.
So yeah, as you all get in, anyone that wants to
Yeah.
can answer.
Well, I was going to guess, like, because this is kind of Relwyn's background. That's what I was kind of wondering if I.
From the decay and everything.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I like that. Make me a medicine check.
Advantage, disadvantage, great.
I'll give you advantage. This is a cool idea.
Okay. Total 21.
Okay. As you sit there, as soon as he asks that, the first thing you do is kind of look over, because from where the door is, you can see the body. And you instantly just start doing calculations like, well, for it to do that, and then for the teeth and the gums and everything, you would say, under normal circumstances, you're looking at maybe a year or two. If there's any magic involved, you might be looking at longer.
Could be
but-
longer. That would require someone periodically casting against. And Relwyn will say that, well, barring anyone periodically recasting any type of preservation, he looks to be within a state of decomp approximately over a year.
I'm guessing it's when I left.
Would it surprise you if you were to find out you had never met him? He had been dead much longer than you had been here.
That's some really good magic then. Was he an illusion? An animated corpse?
You magic users think so fondly of yourself and all of your little spells. You must invoke gods or interact with the weave to get anything that you want. However, you
Bitch,
seem-
my power comes from my voice.
You seem to vastly underestimate the power of persuasion.
So you kindly asked the corpse to walk around. Well then.
I never asked anything of a corpse. However, simply implying that a corpse is not a corpse, for some people, is all they need to invent whatever they want in their minds.
Yeah.
So, now that you are aware of the fallacy of this town, exactly what do you think you've done here?
That's a great question. Are there any other chairs around the table?
They are all not something you would want to sit in. They're rotten and broken and the things like that.
I will find something to lean against.
Okay.
That preferably won't cause
You think
something
if
to collapse.
you think a few of the bookcases themselves are sturdy enough that they could still be a little leaned up upon.
In my head, one of the books about mushrooms actually has mushrooms growing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't do anything because the mayor's already dead, and you can't kill somebody that's already dead.
Well,
What was the purpose of bringing us out here then? If we couldn't change anything.
I didn't bring you out here. You came out on your own. I was perfectly fine running this household the way it deserved to be run.
Who brought the three things, three friends out there? They just appear by their own?
No, those were a gift from the Dark Lord for centuries of service.
You.
Of course. Who else would they be a gift for? The dead mayor? Even when he was alive,
Whoa.
he was not smart enough to know what to do with a gift like that.
So what services did you provide for him?
I was the major domo of his household. I commanded all the servants. I ensured all of his schedule was kept correctly. I oversaw the household staff.
Sorry, is this the mayor's staff, or was this the Dark Lord's?
Yeah.
The Dark Lord has never been here, far too below his position. No, it was the mayor's household staff.
So you were rewarded for doing your job?
Oh, you wish to know what I did for the Dark Lord? Well,
Yes.
I command his troops. I am one of his 4 generals.
Oh.
Oh.
This city was given to me as a reward for centuries of service. I never wanted to be a ruler. Mayors, governors, whatever you want to call them, they are figureheads. They have no true power. No. The people behind them, the ones that call the shots, the ones that get to decide who speaks when, they are
God.
the ones with the real power.
Is it just me, or does it make it even more infuriating that he's probably right?
You're totally right.
Okay.
So, you now have a choice. You can decide that you want to take on a general of the Dark Lord. Though I will clarify that what you saw outside that was not my power. That was me toying with inferiors. Or you can leave my domain, and I won't feel the need to kill you all in the most gloriously painful ways I can come up with. And, well, Vala, Lord Inquisitor, you are very familiar with methods of pain, aren't you?
Just answer me this one question, and Vala will stand up. Was any, with all these illusions, with all of, and she'll like take a book off the shelf, with this.
As you do, half of the book falls off, and the cover itself sticks to you as it kind of peels off the book itself.
With all of this, were the people that I interrogated, were they real?
Oh, they were very real. The Dark Lord wanted you to suffer immensely, and let's be honest, pain is not... Experiencing pain is really not that horrible.
Yeah,
Your body
you're
adjusts to it, but knowing that you were the one that inflicted that pain, that will cause you to suffer every night for the rest
Yeah.
of your horrible existence.
you're full of shit, and I will throw the book at him.
Uh-huh.
And while I do, I will cast Fireball.
Okay. As you throw the book goes through him. And as you cast Fireball,
Do I see the book go through him before I finish casting?
sure.
I will stop casting.
Okay. Kenna looks down. Maybe you aren't more intelligent than you look. This has been fun, but you have a rather dangerous mob outside that's about to start not just killing the members of the mob, but going throughout the town and murdering and doing all sorts of unspeakable things. Perhaps that's something you should worry about more than this conversation.
God damn it.
Where are you?
Does Relwyn have the sense that this guy's having a full-on conversation
Mm-hmm.
with us, and with Vala specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and yet that's an illusion? Relwyn wants to know if this guy's still in the vicinity.
Make me an Arcana check.
Okay. Nine.
Your knowledge of arcane magic is not enough where you could really tell how he's projecting this illusion. The most you can tell is this illusion is not acting like any illusion you are currently aware of. So something about this is interesting.
Well, it's a real-time projection, as far as I can tell. He's actually interacting, having a full-blown conversation back and forth.
I'm pulling out my wand of magic detection
Mm-hmm.
and clicking it, and I'm wanding the room.
Okay. As you kind of wander around, the only thing that you find is the walls themselves have been enchanted with effectively a permanent spell that makes them immune to fire.
God damn it!
But it is a spell effect. So
Okay.
something like a Dispel Magic or something would remove it.
But
But
more
as you
important-
kind of wave it over him, the one doesn't give you like a specific idea of. Remind me again, because Detect Magic, does it tell you the name of the spell or anything like that?
I don't think it'll tell me the name of the spell. I think it'll tell me the School of Magic.
Yeah.
I believe, I might be wrong about this, I believe it should be Divination.
Okay.
Let me look up the spell real quick before I tell you the exactly wrong thing.
As I'm wanding the walls,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I helped make this manor fireproof. I don't get the sense that this anti-Vala magic is not contributing to the mob. I.e., the house is not a source of
Oh, I am
riling up the mob.
I am wrong. It is necromancy. Is the school of magic that is coming from him. As far as what's happening to the mob, you do not believe the walls have anything to do with what's happening to the mob.
All right, I'll just look at Rowan and go, last time we almost got eaten by a house. You can never be too careful. And I'll put the wand away.
My story
It's arcane bullshit.
Yeah.
One second. Okay, so as you do that, it's both necromancy and conjuration. Now that I've actually looked up the two spells.
Oh, not illusion?
No, this is necromancy and conjuration.
Well, fuck. We know he was here.
Well, do we?
Well, something punched me. I just don't know.
I'm still here.
I will just like go up to him and right in the eyes.
Yeah, I would go.
I had such high hopes for you at one point.
Listen, chicken shit, and I will cast bonfire on him. So his illusion is just roasting in the flames now. Look, just because you're not man enough to face 3 girls and a priest,
Sounds like the start of a joke.
3
Roll
girls
just-
and a priest walk into a bar.
Rowan just like, cleric, there's a slight difference.
Just because you're not man enough to face us, and instead going to sick a bunch of innocent people. You're a coward. We get it. You're a servant of the Dark Lord. You like licking his boot heels. It's fine.
Enjoy the massacre. And he's no longer there.
Sweet. While I still have the wand up, I'm gonna go out into the audience chamber
Mm-hmm.
and wand the Lord Mayor.
I can't remember the spell.
But
he's a preservation spell that prevents him from.
There's spare the dying.
He's got some magic that's preventing him from decaying.
Yeah, that's all it really is.
Okay.
It's, kind of a souped up version of spare the dying that is slowly losing its. You do, as you get close enough to actually do that, you do see the reason he has such good posture is those darts that the Major Domo had been throwing at you guys. There is one just beneath his Adam's apple that has pinned his neck to the chair, and there seems to be another very long one that's going directly through his sternum into the chair as well. So he's literally pinned to the chair.
I will attempt to set him on fire and give him a Viking funeral.
He burns very well. As soon as the fire envelops him, he turns into dust as the fire kind of destroys enough of his form that the spell no longer has something to take effect on, and he just.
Do I know where the Major Domo's office is?
It's in the servants' quarters. He had. Remember, you went in the top floor.
Yeah. I'll just kind of look at the others and go, I think we need to go look downstairs, and I will run off.
All right. Follow.
Are you serious? Cat on their mom?
Sorry?
Are you serious? Go check on
The mob?
their mom?
No. We need to take out the Major Domo first, because yes.
So as you go down, you've actually never been in the servants' quarters before. Going in, you notice this place is significantly better kept than the rest of the manor. There's furniture that's actually intact here. The floors are clean. It's not opulent in any way, shape, or form, but it's working. And going through and kind of searching through, you do eventually discover the Major Domo's kind of office. And as soon as you get to the door, or as soon as you get within about 10 feet of the door, your stomach drops. And you feel the need to start retching almost instantly. As soon as you feel that, just instinctively you stop. But you can tell the closer you get to this door, you just instantly feel sick.
I'll kind of like step back a foot. Do I and kind of motion for the others to hold up a second? Do I get like it's not is it a smell? Is it just like a sense?
You when you look at the door, you can see the door itself is not nearly as well made as the other doors. So there's cracks all around the side that you can see, and there is this deep sanguine light that is shining out from underneath the door through all the different cracks and things around the door. And the light ends right where the sickness ends.
Guys, I think I found him. Or something.
Oh,
I'll try and approach the door. See if it's just Vala.
Okay. As soon as you get to the edge of where the red light is, you instantly feel the urge to kind of retch. Unless you physically cross the barrier of that light and like go next to the door, you don't actually do it. You just instantly feel the need to.
Okay. Is it like to where I can't continue, or?
Would you like to?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
If he looks like he's getting nauseous, I'm guessing this is very obvious, especially with my passive perception. I would like to cast guidance.
Sure.
All right, with guidance, that becomes a 33.
All right, stop. What did you roll?
A
What was the
natural 20.
Okay, I'm sitting here like, that's not... Oh, freaking barbarians.
This moldy bread. Oh, yeah, this is just penicillin for me.
So as soon as you cross the barrier, you instantly feel horrible. Think of the worst sickness you've ever had and then multiply it by 100. You guys watch as he crosses over where the light ends, his or her skin instantly turns green. You see bags form underneath her eyes, her cheeks start to sag instantly. She just looks like death warmed over. You instantly feel the contents of your stomach starting to come up right in the back of your the throat, and you kind of swallow and kind of go and force yourself through it. Your limbs themselves feel exceedingly more heavy than they ever have in your life, but you are able to get to the door itself. What would you like to do?
Yes, I'll try opening it.
Okay, the door is unlocked. As it swings inwards, you see this very large, deep, sanguine-colored crystal just floating and kind of rotating on top of his desk. As the door opens and you get hit by more direct light, make me another Constitution saving throw with disadvantages at a time.
All right.
And the rest of you can make just regular Constitution saving throws, since the light has become significantly brighter.
With disadvantage, that's 21.
Again, you feel your lunch start to come up. You kind of fight through it. Your limbs are getting heavier, but you're still there. The rest of you will start with Vala.
5.
5. Cool. Lillian?
That would be
Okay, and then Rel will win.
17.
17. Relwyn and Lillian, you guys again feel lunch coming up, but you're able to kind of fight through it as well as you can.
Oh, I'm tasting
Vala,
those scones. I'm tasting those
you
scones.
Just empty everything you've eaten since you were a child.
Oh, guys,
It's
this
coming
is
out
nothing.
your
I've seen some.
nose. Your eyes are watering. As you guys look over at Vala, you can see her, but what's coming up doesn't look like vomit. It is this deep red and black, thick, viscous liquid that is just pouring out of her. You can see she's absolutely, her eyes are watering, but it is this deep black tears that are coming out of both sides of her eyes. Vala, you have a level of exhaustion.
Huzzah!
Argenta, with you being that close, you can see on the table there are 3 pieces of effectively what looks like meat. From your previous experience, you recognize them as tongues that are on the table itself, and each one has a very similar to, if we go back pretty far to when you guys first were exploring underneath the Dark Lord's lair. All those people that were kind of impaled with those spikes, those same spikes are in these tongues, and they are connected to the crystal itself.
Those tokens?
And how far is the desk from me? Is it like a small room?
It's about 10 feet.
Okay.
But
She'll-
from what you're feeling right now, each step is going to be a difficult thing to deal with.
Unless one of us has a plan about dealing with that, maybe you want to get closer.
Yeah, she's basically, I'm going to burn a rage to try and just force myself to get there.
Okay. So you guys hear Argenta just kind of give this howl of anger, and she starts pushing her way forward. Go ahead and make me another con save. I'll say because of the rage, we're just going to make it a flat save.
I would like to give guidance if I see them charging forward, if that's a valid option.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
I think that's going to be the last one because this is touch. I don't know if that's before they go...
Before you can do that, I need the con save.
Oh, okay. That's 10.
10. You start just everything you've ever eaten and crying and everything. You have a level of exhaustion now, and you are unable to focus enough on the spell to get it off.
That was
Go
a
ahead.
16.
16. Okay. Moving forward, you still feel this incredible, horrible nausea and sickness. As you go forward without thinking, you can feel things kind of coming up, and you're just kind of spitting repeatedly to get the flavor of the bile out of your mouth. As you look down at some of the spit almost could be mistaken for blood until you look at it more closely, and it's much darker and thicker than blood should be. But you're able to make it halfway there. Make me another Constitution save.
Is there a place I can mark exhaustion on D&D Beyond?
Yes. If you go into conditions underneath your health.
28 that time.
28. Yeah, you hold the feelings down, and you don't even need to spit at this point. You get there, your ears are ringing, your eyes are watering uncontrollably, your head is pounding, but you are at the desk right now.
Okay, just kind of leaning on the desk and relying on both her rage and the desk itself. She's going to grab what she can from the tongues with one hand And whatever seems easier, pulling the spike off or ripping the tongues off of the spike.
Okay. Make me a strength saving for the throw.
Does rage give advantage for those or no?
I don't think it gives saving throws. I believe it's ability checks.
I would check because it does cover a lot, and I definitely don't want you getting any more sick.
It does give advantage on strength saves.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I am wrong.
That's good because one of those is a 1, but the other one is a 23 total.
Okay. So you only take half this damage. So as you touch it, you feel your arm just like lights on fire effectively. You watch as this deep, this deep sanguine red flame just bursts out of your arm as soon as you touch one of the tongues. You would normally take 32 damage. Put that in half as you kind of knuckle down through it. So 16 points of fire damage. As you pull one of the tongues, the needle is pinning the tongue to the desk. So the easiest thing for you is you just pull the spike out and to take the tongue. As you do that, you guys watch as the crystal itself kind of pulsates, and you watch as this little crack appears in it. There are currently still 2 more tongues.
While I'm projectile vomiting,
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of grab Relwyn and pull him back away from the light.
Mm-hmm. At this point, the light is bright enough because the door is no longer blocking it that the entire hallway is bathed in it.
Then I am going to be an idiot and try to cast Darkness.
Okay. Make me a Go ahead.
My target is going to be, I want to try, since I think Darkness creates a sphere,
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to get it so that the edge of the sphere is at the crystal.
Okay. Darkness is cast on an object, not up a point in space, but you could find a corner or something to cast it on.
Magical Darkness spreads from a point you choose within range to fill a 15-foot radius sphere.
Okay. I could have sworn because...
I know light is an object. Light is an object, definitely.
No, because monks... Alright, this is one I actually have to look up. Because shadow monks used to cast darkness on a pebble, and then they just hold the pebble. If the point you choose is an object you are holding, or when there's a... Okay, so you can choose an object. That's where I was going. I'm like, Either way, the first thing I need you to do is going to be a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
No.
I would try to help you, but it appears like if I try to do magic while in the ray, I get like
What'd you get?
I got a 20
Mm-hmm.
and 2. So 5 again.
So as you try to focus, you feel even worse. You fall down to your knees. You notice your cheeks and your jaw actually feels wet. And you kind of go, and you realize your ears are bleeding at this point. You look, there's blood coming out of your fingernails, out of your nose. Basically, every opening is starting to bleed. You take another level of exhaustion.
I think we should stop trying to cast.
Like I said, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I will.
You also take 17 points of necrotic damage. Vavala, you take 17 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, awesome.
I will yell to you need help with that? Or you can...
He doesn't even answer. She's already going for the next tongue.
Okay, make me another strength save.
Okay. That will be 23 again because I rolled a 5 and a 15 this time.
You're doing great. So 13 points of fire damage as the next one fire kind of rips up your arm.
All right.
And you watch another crack appears in the crystal. It starts kind of pulsating a little bit more.
If that thing, if he undoes it, if she undoes it, we might want to get out of the way.
Yeah, these things have a tendency to collapse and pull things in.
You want to go for the last one?
So same thing, just different reasons.
I will.
Yeah.
Rowan's pulling to the side. He's
24.
24. That's actually too high. 31 halved to 15 points of fire damage. As you pull the last tongue and fire goes up your arm again, you see this and the crystal shatters. All the rest of you instantly feel this kind of wave of calm flow over you as all the pain that you're experiencing, all the horrible feelings just instantly are turned off. Anyone that has failed any of their constitution saving throws and got a level of exhaustion specifically from this, you collapse to the floor. And for less than a second, you just briefly lose consciousness. And you awaken to see that you're still in the room. There are shards of this crystal all over the counter, or all over the desk, all over the floor. And as you guys look over, Argenta has these just very wicked looking burns. They have burst blisters all over them, like all the way up her arm, going up her neck to parts of her face. She has these really, really bad second and third degree burns on both arms.
She just kind of sits down. I don't know what that did, but I think it did something.
Wherever it was, I can give some healing if you need that.
Probably.
I'm kind of running low here. Maybe I can give something. I'll do a couple here.
So you guys watch as Relwyn goes over and he holds on to his holy symbol, and you guys again watch this kind of deep indigo blue light start radiating from him, and he goes to touch the burn wounds on Argenta's arms, and when he first touches you, you instantly feel kind of the searing pain. If you've ever touched a burn before, it's not a pleasant experience at first, but then you feel this cooling sensation move up your arm. You watch as the blisters start to heal themselves. The bits of charred flesh start to regain some of their color.
Did other people take damage as well?
I
took
a
just
little
levels
bit.
of exhaustion. And then
Okay.
Vala took some necrotic damage.
So Vala and Argenta did take some.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm just gonna do another. I'll just do another mass cure wounds. Here.
So as Relwyn touches Argenta, he also looks back, and you watch as this wave of healing goes off of him, and you guys feel this very kind of cooling sensation as it washes over you.
Everyone gets 15 points.
Seeing him casting spells, I'm gonna like look down at myself and be like, "Ugh." Start using prestidigitation to clean myself off,
Okay.
and then clean Rowan off as well.
You do notice the kind of black tears are unaffected by the prestidigitation.
Son of a bitch.
I look at you, and I look at you, and you look at me, and we're just like,
arcane bullshit.
You do know, like, you can wipe it off, but for whatever reason, the prestidigitation has no effect on it for some bizarre reason.
Seems to be a byproduct of the exhaustion, perhaps.
something.
Well, I'm not sure if that was the purpose of the... If that was just simply a feat to torture us, or if that was some other means as well. Obviously, it was tied to the tokens.
Yeah.
I would agree. I'm hoping this is also what was driving the populace into a
Yeah,
frenzy.
Bob, yeah.
Can I go to a window?
This particular room, the window looks out the back of the manor.
No.
So you wouldn't be able to... You'd need to literally go to the front of the manor.
Well, I didn't know, would we hear the crowd, or is that only to the front?
You haven't heard anything from outside since you entered the manor.
We should take these back to the vampires out front.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should.
Vampires.
Oh, we didn't...
I knew they were undead.
Yes, they are vampires. They're not good vampires, but they're better than the Dark Lord.
I don't think that's a high bar.
It's really not, but
But don't be not.
look, not all vampires are evil, blood-sucking.
Well.
Yeah, let's just
Well.
I mean,
Leopold's different, and I will fix him.
they're those I mean, he's one of those vegan vampires, isn't he?
I
From
think
what
I only have...
remember.
I think I only have the capability of 2 more existential crises today, so...
We knew a vegan vampire. It's fine.
You knew Count Duckula?
I will tell you about Leopold later. Hopefully, assuming we survive. We still have to defeat the Major Domo, but
He must have been here at least somewhat recently if that was in his office.
I think he's still here somewhere. But
Yeah.
if we get these tongues into the vampires again, then they maybe will provide us help. They may not, but at least they can't be used as tools to regenerate that thing.
Yeah.
He could also be toying with us. I'm getting considerably low on what power I was already granted.
I mean, that's a given. So, we'll start leading the way back out front.
Okay. As you guys could come out, you can see kind of a scene of carnage in front of you. There are multiple bodies or remnants of bodies that have been ripped apart. Bits of them have been strewn all across the street. But you also see people that are kind of looking around. Some of them are kind of wide-eyed in shock. Some of them are covered in gore. But it doesn't seem like anyone is actively attacking anyone else.
So it has stopped?
It seems, from what you can see.
Oh God.
So maybe they were fueling it somehow, and that was causing the...
I think the crystal is fueling it. Let's get the vampires their tongues back, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
one of us should probably address the crowd.
do we see the vampires?
I'm not going to stop hearing very outlandish things from this group anytime soon, am I?
No.
Oh, we haven't even started yet. One day I'll tell you about the time I got bitten by a werewolf. And then infected with mushrooms. I hate mushrooms.
Rowan eats a ginger chew.
The vampire lords are still on the ground where you left them. They haven't moved an inch.
Alright, so basically because I have all 3 tongues,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go to the closest one and just slap it with a tongue until one works.
Like you're trying keys.
Yeah.
Yes, like here.
Yeah,
Open
that's
it.
alright.
No, it's got the wrong bumps. Okay,
You're
let's
checking
try-
key fob. You're checking key fobs. Mercedes, Mustang.
As you return the tongues to these vampire lords, they change. Currently, they are these emaciated kind of white husks of creatures, and as their tongues are returned, they get their more kind of familiar pale skin.
Rowan's holding a shield up, and Macy's like,
Their musculature kind of goes back to the way you would more expect of a vampire lord. They're all they're all currently wearing basically effectively sarongs and are topless because the runes on their chest needed to be kind of exposed. And because
they
two
were
of
also
them
exploding.
they were, yeah.
Yeah.
Because two of them are female, they instantly they kind of cover themselves and they look around and they see you are Genta. The first one to
Rowan's
speak,
immediately like, oh,
the first one to speak is Lady Artois, who goes, I would prefer if we could leave this area before explaining exactly what has gone on here. And she looks at you, Argenta. Is there somewhere we can go more? And she kind of gestures down to her form. Private. Preferably somewhere with clothing.
We could go back in a minute, baby.
I would suggest that for right now.
The mana, but everything's wrong. I guess we could.
Remind me, didn't you burn down your mansion, or?
Oh,
No,
yeah, my mansion is ash at this point,
Okay.
I believe.
the only
I mean-
two places I could think of would be the Resistance HQ or going into Moldy Manor. But yeah.
Well,
Oh,
wherever you decide is best, I would significantly prefer it to being out here.
I think the Resistance HQ is the place that'll have clothes, though, like a cloak or something.
Lead the way.
Alright.
And realizing that there isn't really a way to do this with dignity,
Rowan will offer his cloak. He'll be like,
and she kind of
yeah.
thinks.
I'll take off my cloak, revealing my because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I have the uniform on underneath it.
Mhm.
I'll hand that over and be like, guys, just you go that way, and then I'll kind of like go the other way up to the fence. And once they're a good distance away, I will attempt to draw the attention of the crowd. And just, the mayor is dead. Has been for a long time.
The crowd kind of looks at each other with disbelief. One of them just kind of shouts, "Why should we believe you? Torturer! Killer!"
You don't have to believe me. You should go home. You've seen what happened here today. There's blood on all of our hands.
And that you literally watch a wave go through the crowd as your words hit them, and they kind of have to acknowledge what has just happened.
We will find the one responsible. You are all under control. Something drove you to this. We've stopped it for now. But I assure you, we will find the one responsible for this. I will make sure he is brought to justice.
There's more murmuring and the things like that, but the crowd starts to dissipate and go back. The city itself, the road leading up and all the houses and buildings going up of it are ashes. Most burned down from when you set the street on fire. But you,
Yeah, that was the other day. Yeah.
so the rest of them kind of filter out. Your contact, the leader of the rebellion, goes, "Oh, that was fucked up, right? You got some new friends. Hello. And he kind of looks at the.
He looks. Relwyn tries to make eye.
And who's your new friends here?
Oh, this would be the Vampire Lord, and I will introduce them.
Right. You said vampire. Right. That's
Yes.
cool. I
If we
think I
could-
left the oven on.
If you could include some, animal blood in the next food,
Sure.
that'd be nice. Yeah.
It's great. I've got to go check because I don't want to burn down my own home. Just you guys know what a safe house is, so you can use it. We'll check in with you later, right? Yeah.
In Vampire, I just say to the three of them, he's harmless, quite literally.
And Lady Artois goes, "Your accent is atrocious."
I've been told.
Please stick to common. I've been put through enough torture recently.
No.
I will go up to our friend and just take a small handful of ash I had taken off the throne and just hold it out for him to put his hands out and just sprinkle it in there and go, "That's the mayor."
Oh! You warned someone before you do something like that?
Well, you
Bastard.
wanted to be a dad. I mean,
I told you he would burn.
You've got issues. Like, major issues.
And I will just reach my arm around him and
you have no idea.
just
And as you get the arm around, he's like, no. Don't, no touching, no nothing like that. You've got issues, and you need to deal with those, right? I'm leaving.
we all have our demons.
Yes, but mine don't involve giving people bits of other people. And he makes his way off. Lord Laval kind of gets up and he kind of brings the two Lady Artois and do you guys remember who the third one was? I can't remember.
I do not.
The third one that I've forgotten. And he kind of brings them and he tells you,
Lenny.
well, where are we to go?
Well, for right now, there is a hideout we can go to. We can hunker down, and then
Fantastic. I do not care the details currently. I simply want us off the streets. It is unbecoming for a lord or lady to be seen like this.
of course, follow us. I will lead the way.
Okay. Takes you guys better part of 20 minutes to get there. Walking through this is the city itself. You can see the emotional impact of everything that has happened thus far, you can see people are ashen-faced. There's no conversations. You see people on the street, but not a single soul has said anything. You see a few places where, like outside of taverns and things like that, where people would normally eat, you do see people eating, but they're all eating in stunned, solemn silence, completely absorbed in dealing with what has happened recently. As you all eventually get to the safe house itself, I can change the music. As you all get to the safe house itself, you close the door behind you, but you don't hear the familiar sound of the bar being set in place to kind of trap you in there. As you get there, you do see 3 piles of clothing that apparently have been delivered for your guests, and a privacy screen as well. And they go and they put on clothing. They come out and they look disgusted with what they're wearing, which is relatively plain, you know, tunic shirts and pants and a doublet, but nothing like what they're used to wearing.
Does Rowan know of vampires in this world, being from Elmorn and being somewhat enclosed to there? Does he know of vampires at all?
Well, the Dark Lord is a vampire, and vampires are actually there's not a ton of them here, and they almost exclusively live inside Castle Tormund Rift. The few that do come out and live amongst the population generally are not kind of supported by the Dark Lord. Ebbenthorn is actually known for their vampire hunters. There are quite a few vampires.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, you'd be aware of the vampires there, especially since you came from Meisenford. Literally, the next town south is known. Like, if you're a vampire hunter, you go to Ebbenthorn to kill vampires. So, and you're also aware that the Dark Lord is a vampire, and the good vampires all live in Castle Tormund Rift. So they could come out, and Lord Laval is the first to speak. So, I guess we have you to thank for our release. Oh, and by the way, Lillian, you would regain the hit points that were locked behind those 3 being trapped.
Alright.
So your maximum hit point total goes up effectively by how much was it? Was it a level per? No, because that would have been 13 levels.
It was.
This is what happens when you homebrew weird shit, folks.
Yeah,
remember it. We'll deal with the hit points later because you're not getting attacked. But
I think it was 12 per. I remember it.
we'll figure. I'll go back through my messages and that. But you do, as you have released them, you started feeling a little bit better. You're regaining some of your spent health that was used to protect your friend. So, I assume you all have questions for us.
I can think of a few. Do you know where the Major Domo is, or where he may have gone?
We were never privy to his movements. While I remember everything that happened while I was in that form, we had no control over our own bodies. We were prisoners in our own minds.
Oh, I guess I had one question.
Lady Artois kind of brings up, I do remember in the library there was supposed to be a bookshelf that moved. One of the servants complained that cleaning it was a nightmare. I would assume if he left, he would have gone through there.
Certainly a possibility. May have to go back up there and try to see
Yeah.
if we can follow him.
Well, we have questions for you. If you
Please.
wouldn't mind answering. Time was difficult to understand. How long have we been here?
To the best of our knowledge, I believe it's been about a year. Or at least those of us that have been here the longest have been here for about a year. But
Secret. So much longer.
I was gonna say I'll point to
Yeah.
Relwyn
Yeah.
and say this individual grew up here, I believe,
Misenfort.
Misenford. But
He did say that the mayor had been dead since you knew him. So possibly they could have been they could have been stashed away.
Did our other vampire friend ever say how long he'd been there?
Not that you can remember.
Okay.
so yeah, it's difficult to know for sure. All of us have arrived here at different points. The longest of us has been here for a year. But there are people who originated here,
Yeah.
not in the Three Kingdoms.
And they were awful. Here, they're awful people that were brought here after the five of us disappeared.
This is the thing you mentioned about other worlds, other planes?
Yes. So, if when he attacked the council at our trial,
Yes, we got tricked into a trial by the council. She's just staring at the vampires.
You were not tricked. The trial
No.
was real. The trial was necessary. You had been charged with rather serious crimes.
yes,
None
but
of us could have known what that bastard was planning.
yes, I think we were all caught unaware. But my point is, if that event created this world, then I don't know how people could be here before that happened. Meaning, you could have been here for a very long time. We have freed one of the other lords. So there are 4 of you now.
What lord have you freed?
Oh, you know, that one.
But,
Was it Merovingian?
Believe
yeah, Merovingian.
is Lionel Merovingian.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, so Lord Merovingian.
Well, It's an awful lot for us to take in all at once. Especially since we thought he was dead. We dealt with him centuries ago. I think all this time he'd been doing this. He'd been using us.
Yeah,
Right.
we kind of found him in a cave in Fenrish. That's why he didn't really like us when he popped in the trial.
I again must thank you for your assistance. Being without my equipment, my weapons, and as far as I can tell, my war magic, I sincerely doubt that I will be able to assist you in any way, shape, or form as long as I exist here. However, I would request that you save the remaining vampire lords. While our power here is minuscule and limited, if we were to return to Sanguinius, arrangements could be made for a reward that you feel would be appropriate. Sorry, what was that, Scott?
I said, could work.
I think discovering whether or not it's even possible to return to Sanguinius is a more pressing matter. But I cannot speak for the other lords. When I can speak for myself, if we are able to return, I will provide you with an adequate reward.
Mm.
You have my word as a member of the Council of Blood. And then, Briatois, I, too, will offer a reward. However, it hinges on you being able to return all of the Vampire Council. If you are unable to save us all, the reward will not be forthcoming.
I can tell you right now, we have a vested interest in getting all of you back. Since the Dark Lord has been using you has been using all of us to fuel this place, to keep it going. The more of you that we free, the weaker he becomes, the weaker this place becomes. So, the sooner we can get all of you back together, the better.
Good. Good. That is a good plan.
I believe the Lord Merovingian is trying to do research, trying to see if there's any way that they can be of assistance in helping take down the Dark Lord.
We will join Lord Merovingian. Again, my speciality is in war magic, so I sincerely doubt I will be significantly good, but Lady Artois, you familiar with pacts and the bonds that form from them, and Well, between all of us, we should be able to come up with something. Exactly where is Lord Merovingian?
Was he still at that like hideout that we were at with Commander's body?
Yeah.
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 So you guys kind of tell him where it is. Will you be accompanying us to this hideout, or do you have other plans?
I think we need to defeat this general, and the sooner the
Yeah.
better, before he can retake this city.
Question about that, and I don't know if the Lord might know or anyone else. It seems kind of strange to ask. Does anyone have any inclination of what the Major Domo actually is?
You mean, aside from a big pain in the ass?
Someone who can command. I didn't know if maybe he's. Is he? Is it possible he's human, or is he something else? There seemed to be a lot of different abilities used. They weren't all illusion.
No. I think he has to be. He's not your average human.
No.
I don't know if he started as human and has been changed by the Dark Lord, or if he is something that has crawled into human skin.
And he seemed to be someone who could command fiends just as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Although, actually, I'll look at the Vampire Lords. Do you have any ideas as to what he might be, or?
I
To
guess
be
he always
honest-
appeared as he was.
To be honest, I never really focused on him. We were under the impression that we were property of the mayor. In fact, thinking back, I can't even picture what he looks like. I actually, and you see him kind of get this strange expression. I have no memory of ever interacting with him or even hearing him referenced the entire time I was there. I don't think that's possible.
So, power is it possible knowing what we know now that the bear was the biggest Domo in the eyes of illusion or whatever?
To be honest, you're not 100% certain. From what he said, according to what he said, he basically just convinced you guys you were speaking with the mayor. And you guys all just made up the mayor in your own heads.
Right. He's a Hypnotoad. But I have memories of interacting with the Major Domo.
Roll me a history check.
Oh boy. At disadvantage because of two levels.
You have a cleric.
I have 2 levels of exhaustion to get rid of that disadvantage on history.
Make the check. He can deal with the things after it.
I'm gonna try to focus and be a little distracted and get a 15.
As you think back, you remember interacting with the mayor. And you know you've interacted with the Major Domo. You know beyond a shadow of a doubt you have. But you're having the hardest time coming up with a specific memory. Even the conversation you just had with him, for some odd reason, you're having a hard time remembering. Like, you know what was said, but you can't remember him saying it. You have no active memory of those things.
So, like, if I try to picture his face in my head, do I just get a fuzzy?
Make me another history check.
Again, 15.
15. Okay, it's enough. You sit there and you try and focus, and you can see his head in your kind of your mind's eye. You can see his face. He's clean shaven. One of those faces that you can't really tell if he's like in his mid 30s or his mid 80s. Like his face just has this aged look to it. Completely bald. The little bits of hair that he does have on his face, like his eyebrows and things like that, are gray. But as you think about it, you get this kind of pinpoint headache behind your left eye.
God damn it. Guys, is it just me, or is it... Did he have a face that was hard to remember? There's something about him I don't like.
No,
Do I have a similar memory to
If any of you guys try to remember, again, you can remember what happened, but actually an actual tangible memory of him speaking or anything like that, you cannot pull up. You know it happened, but for whatever reason, it's just not coming to mind. You cannot picture it in your mind's eye.
Oh, even the interaction we just had.
Mm-hmm. The one that you just had, where he was talking with Vala and all that. You guys know that it happened. You remember everything that happened in it. Like, you remember all the information. But if you try and remember him specifically saying anything, nothing comes up.
I guess I'll go ahead and just make the roll since I didn't realize it was pertaining to that. Yeah, I'm just blanking. It's the weirdest, it's the
If
weirdest
anyone
experience.
tries to remember something specific, just to make this simpler, if you roll a 15, DC 15 history check, you can remember a specific thing. Like, you can remember what his face looks like, or something like that. But it'll give you that same kind of headache that Vala got.
I think either way, I was abysmal. Disadvantage or not.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I rolled a 22.
Okay. So yeah, you guys can remember, like, you can remember what his face looks like, or you could remember what his voice sounds like, or something like that. But anything else about him physically, again, you know it exists. You know the memories are there. You just cannot access any other of them.
Right, so...
He seems to have an effect in mass,
Yeah.
a variety of ways on people.
it seems like he just... Whatever magic he has it's disrupting recollection of him. It kind of makes him a very good spy if you think about it.
Well, he said he preferred operating behind the throne as opposed to being seen directly.
Well, it has been a very long day. We would prefer to get some sleep before we venture out tomorrow. Again, we thank you for your rescue and hope that you are victorious in your other goals.
Yes. I'll, get some rest. I'll see if I can't get some, travel provisions and maybe some weapons to help protect you on the road. I will also, make sure to send Lord Merovingian a a message letting him know that the three of you are on your way.
We're very thankful.
Of course.
With that, ladies, and they kind of turn around and just go back to behind the privacy screen. Has become their room.
Their area. Okay.
And that is where we are going to end it for tonight. As always, if you enjoyed this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/TraderTrainerJody. I do believe the last episode of this, I haven't uploaded yet. I have it on my desktop. So that will be uploaded as soon as I'm done with this. And then I generally upload new episodes the Sunday after. So be sure to check that out. Otherwise, I am going to, because we actually have some awesome people, I'm going to see if I can remember how to raid someone. There we go. I have to get the right name. So anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Really enjoyed having you here. Every week I do run D&D on Wednesday nights, so be sure to come back. Otherwise, we're going to go raid my buddy Elias, who is currently playing Horizon Forbidden West. So be sure to say hi. Tell him to roll initiative for me. And again, that is all for me today. I'll see you guys next time. All right? Bye. And we will be raiding very soon here.
Anytime now.
All right. Now we're actually doing it. All right. Bye, folks.
All right. So that was